All right, what is up, Flyers fans? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris, and today got some World Juniors coverage for you. This is my third year covering the World Juniors, and what I usually do is I cover the Flyers prospects that play in this tournament because it is the best time to see all these prospects, and it's the one tournament that everybody looks to see these guys, and it's always fun. It's around Christmas time. And it's great. It's a great tournament. It has been for years, and we've seen a lot of good World Junior moments throughout the years. And last year, a couple Flyers prospects did really well. Cam York, Bobby Brink took home gold for Team USA. And this year, there's three teams that I personally will be covering. That'll be Sweden, Switzerland, and Canada. As for the Flyers prospects, you have for Team Sweden, Emil Andrae, who was the second round pick of the 2020 draft for the Flyers. He's captain of Team Sweden. He's definitely going to play more minutes than he did last year for the World Juniors. Definitely will play more power play time, so that is very good to see him get a letter as well. Especially being the captain is great, and I'm sure he'll have a pretty good effect there for Sweden, and I think he's going to be really usable. And I think they're going to use him in a lot of different situations as well. Elliot Desnoyers has had a really strong season so far. He's going to be playing for Canada. Going to be playing center with Gunter and Cool. And yeah, Desnoyers has been great. Fifth round pick in 2020. Flyers traded up to get him. If you remember, he's had a great year with the Halifax Mooseheads. He's the captain in Halifax. And as for Switzerland, you have recent draft pick Brian Zanetti, fourth round pick. He's probably going to play the third pair, second penalty kill unit as well. He's only 18 years old, so he's younger. So he probably won't get as many minutes. It might be a similar situation as Cam York back in 2020 when he was also younger, but also was dealing with an injury as well. So that's kind of what I kind of take there with Zanetti. But as for those guys, starting with this season, 23 games played in Halifax, 16 goals, 20 assists, 36 points. He's a plus 13. He's having a great year. As for Andrae, he's having a really solid year as well. 21 games played, 2 goals, 14 assists for 16 points, 10 penalty minutes, and he's a plus 6. And he's basically playing against men over in Sweden. I mean, that's not an easy task, and he's playing pretty well. And as for Zanetti, 17 games played, has no goals, 9 assists, and he's a minus 10 right now in the OHL with Peterborough. Again, he's still younger. He's still trying to figure out his game and things like that, but I'm curious to see how he kind of plays as these games kind of roll along. As for today is the pre-tournament day, so it's essentially like an exhibition preseason game for the tournament, essentially, for these guys. And there's a bunch of different games. So Finland was playing the United States at 2 o'clock Eastern time. That was today. I'm recording this around 3:45. So that was the first game that got underway. Second game, Russia against Canada. That is at 7 o'clock tonight. That is on NHL Network if anybody wants to check that out. You can watch Desnoyers there. And as for the other games that are in Red Deer, that, to my knowledge, and also this is a tweet from Scott Wheeler, somebody had asked, are the games going to be, where can we watch it? And he said the 2 games in Edmonton will be carried by TSN, which that also gets started on the NHL Network. And then the 3 Red Deer games won't be broadcasted to his knowledge, and that's by stream and TV. So it doesn't look like the 3 games at Red Deer are going to be played, and that is Slovakia against Germany, Czech Republic versus the Swiss, and Austria versus Sweden. Now, the thing is, the Czech Republic and the Swiss game was postponed. There were some COVID issues there, so that game's not getting played. So there is only 2 games in Red Deer right now. That's the Swiss and Germany. That's at 4 o'clock Eastern time, and then Austria against Sweden at 9 o'clock Eastern time. But as for the games that, for people here in America that can watch, you have Russia against Canada at 7 o'clock on NHL Network if you want to check that out. I will be doing a game review covering Desnoyers and covering that game as well. And as for me, I'll be covering all 3 of these teams throughout the tournament. So I'll have at least 2-3 videos a day up on, depending on how many games are played and things along those lines. Because for me, I have a pretty busy schedule, and I just want to keep you guys updated on the games that I'll be covering for when I'll be throwing out World Juniors content, and also be throwing out Flyers content, because the Flyers will be starting back up on the 29th. So for me, I have Sweden versus Russia at 2:30, and then Czechs against Canada at 5 on the 26th. The Swiss play Russia at 2:30 on the 27th. Sweden plays Slovakia at 7:30. The Swiss also play the United States at 2:30 on the 28th. Austria against Canada at 5. The 29th is Canada, Germany at 5 o'clock. Sweden versus USA at 7:30. The 30th is one game, the Swiss against Slovakia at 5 o'clock. And again, this is all Eastern time. And then Switzerland against Sweden at 2:30, and then Canada versus Finland on New Year's Eve there, and that's at 5 o'clock. So, yeah, a lot of games for me, a lot of games to cover, and I'm really excited for it. I love doing this stuff. It's really fun, and in recent years, there's been a lot of different things with the World Juniors of where the games have been played. And last year we saw it in Edmonton. It's still in Edmonton this year. Going to be playing at Edmonton and Red Deer, so those games are going to be switched up as well. I'm hoping that these Red Deer games are going to be strained, because I know today isn't. Maybe it's just because it's a pre-tournament, but I'm hoping that the legit competition and the seeding and all that stuff, those games starting on the 26th, those get put in. I'm not going to run through the whole schedule on here. That would just take way too long. But I will throw a link to it in the description below if you want to check that out and try to figure out some of the times for these games. But yeah, I mean, I'm really excited for some of these guys. Desnoyers, he's been a guy that I've really liked. I've gotten to know him personally, and I've really liked his game as I've seen him grow and things like that, and he's been a really, really, really nice guy. Andrae, I'm very excited to see how he plays, because he's not afraid to throw the body. That is one thing I will say about Andrae. He's a good defenseman who can move the puck. He can play on the power play, and I was really happy when the Flyers got him. And the thing is with Zanetti too is I'm curious to see how he can play. How can he handle certain situations? Again, he is only young. He's 18 years old. He's only, a couple months older than me. So it's pretty crazy when you think of it that way. But, yeah, this is going to be really exciting for this tournament. Let me know your guys' thoughts below. Remember, guys, podcast articles, those links are on my channel. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. I'll see you guys in the next one, and goodbye.